Omar Khayyam was a Persian poet and polymath, known for his contributions to mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and Persian literature. He was born in Nishapur in Iran and lived during the Seljuk era, around the time of the First Crusade. Khayyam's boyhood was spent in Nishapur, which had earlier been a major center of the Zoroastrian religion. Nishapur was a metropolis in Khorasan province of the Seljuk Empire. The historian Bayhaqi, who was personally acquainted with Khayyam, provides the full details of his horoscope. He was Gemini, the Sun and Mercury being in the ascendant. This was used by modern scholars to establish his date of birth as May 18th, 1048. His gifts were recognized by his early tutors, who sent him to study under the greatest teacher of the Khorasan region, who tutored the children of the highest nobility. And Khayyam developed a firm friendship with him through the years. Khayyam might have met and studied with Bahmanyar, a disciple of Avicenna. As a mathematician, he is most notable for his work on the classification and solution of cubic equations, where he provided a geometric formulation based on the intersection of conics. He also contributed to a deeper understanding of Euclid's parallel axiom. After studying science, philosophy, mathematics, and astronomy at Nishapur, about the year 1068, he traveled to the province of Bukhara, where he frequented the renowned library of the Ark. In about 1070, he moved to Samarkand, where he started to compose his famous treatise on algebra under the patronage of the governor and chief judge of the city. Khayyam was kindly received by the Karakhanid ruler Shams al-Mulk Nasser, who showed him great honor and seated him beside him on his throne. In 1073, peace was concluded with Sultan Malik Shah I, who had made incursions into Karakhanid lands. Khayyam entered the service of Malik Shah in 1074, when he was invited by the Grand Vizier Nizam al-Mulk to meet the Sultan in Marv. In 1074, Sultan Malik Shah commissioned Omar Khayyam to build an observatory in Isfahan and reform the Persian calendar. Leading a team of scholars, Khayyam calculated the duration of the solar year with remarkable precision. He created the Jalali calendar in 1079 in Malik Shah's honor. Recalibrating the calendar fixed the first day of the year at the exact moment of the sun's passage across the vernal equinox. This marks the beginning of spring, Nowruz, when the sun enters the first degree of Aries before noon. The Jalali calendar was a true solar calendar, its months aligned with the sun's passage through the zodiac. It introduced a 33-year cycle with 25 ordinary and 8 leap years, more accurate than the Gregorian calendar. Moritz Cantor, German historian of mathematics, considered the Jalali calendar the most perfect ever devised. The calendar remained in use across Greater Iran from the 11th to the 20th centuries. In 1911, it became the official national calendar of Qajar, Iran. In 1925, this calendar was simplified and its month names modernized, forming today's Iranian calendar. After the deaths of Sultan Malik Shah and his vizier Nizam al-Mulk, both patrons of science, Khayyam lost his royal support. Their deaths, reportedly involving the Nizari Ismailis, the assassins, ended the golden age of learning at the Seljuk court in Isfahan. With political turmoil and rising religious conservatism, Khayyam came under suspicion for his rationalist and skeptical tone. Rumors accused him of impiety and sympathy with Zoroastrian ideas. To defend his name, he made a pilgrimage to Mecca, perhaps also to silence accusations of unorthodoxy from hostile clergy. He was later invited by Sultan Sanjar to Marv to work as court astrologer. Though he served, he himself rejected astrology, devoting his efforts to scientific astronomy. Khayyam's health and disappointment with worldly affairs led him to retire to Nishapur, living a quiet, reflective life. His sorrow likely stemmed from the loss of patrons, shrinking scientific freedom, and accusations of heresy. His final years reflect the melancholy of a brilliant mind caught between reason and dogma. Khayyam considered himself a student of Avicenna and was reportedly reading the Book of Healing before his death. He once wrote, "We are the victims of an age when men of science are discredited, and few remain capable of true research. Our philosophers mix truth with falsehood and chase only outward show. The little knowledge they have, they waste on material gain. When they see a man sincere in his search for truth who shuns falsehood, they mock and despise him." Omar Khayyam was not only a mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher, but also a poet whose rubaiyat captured timeless questions of fate, love, and existence. Turning from the stars to the soul, he reflected on life's fleeting beauty and the limits of understanding. His verses, filled with images of wine and gardens, express both joy and impermanence. Interpretations of the rubaiyat vary. Some see skepticism, others mysticism, but his search for truth united them all. Western fascination began with early translators, but Edward Fitzgerald's Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, 1859, made him immortal. Its lyrical English version inspired artists and writers, reviving Khayyam's name in East and West alike. Omar Khayyam died in Nishapur on 4 December 1131, aged 83, and was buried in today's mausoleum of Omar Khayyam. His disciple Nizami Aruzi recalled that Khayyam once prophesied, "My tomb shall be where the north wind scatters roses over it." 4 years after his death, Aruzi found Khayyam's tomb in Nishapur, just as foretold. As predicted, pear and apricot trees overhung the grave, showering it with blossoms. Through the harmony of science and poetry, Omar Khayyam taught that truth lies not only in the stars, but also in the heartbeat of life. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on, nor all thy piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all thy tears wash out a word of it. Make the most of what we yet may spend, before we too into the dust descend. Dust into dust, and under dust to lie, sans wine, sans song, sans singer, and sans end.